Hey everyone! So today has been a overcast, rainy spring day, and I thought I'd give a couple of recommendations for these lazy days where you just want to stay in bed, listen to the rain, and do some reading. I chose books in mind that could be a one-day read or even just an easy, simple read with no commitment. They're not a part of any series, so you can just read them, move on, and I'm notoriously a slow reader, so I mean, for me, most of these wouldn't have been one-day reads, but for people that read even just the slightest bit faster than me, a couple of these might actually be a one-day read for just when you're in bed and you want to relax. So the first couple of ones are novellas. I'm gonna start with The Loud Earth by Elizabeth Murray. This short novella that comes up to 86 pages, which is pretty good, it's by an Australian author, and the blurb is: a recluse lives in a mountain cabin above a lakeside tourist town. Acquitted of the brutal murder of her parents, she remains guilty in the eyes of the town. Shut away from their fear and anger, her world is reduced to the landscape around her. The mist across the mountains, the sway of bayonet grass, the clear cry of a falcon. And above all the lake, its colours and rhythms, the answer it seems to hold. But one night, a young woman arrives on her porch. A stranger to the town, Hannah doesn't know the stories about this outcast. A romance blossoms, but this recluse's violent past won't stay buried. Hannah unearths some memories of shadows and blood. Amid dark cellars and crisp ski runs, rushing waters and grottos, and whiskey by firelight, a call rises from the deep of the lake. Now, I remember this read being very vivid. Like, all of the settings were amazing and I was enthralled by it. Once I got past the confusion of what was happening, it was a pretty good read. The next one is Convenience Store Woman, and this one is very short. I got through it fairly quickly. It took me a couple of days, but that was because I was reading at night, and reading at night, you just stop at some point to sleep. But if you read this during the day, I reckon it's a one-day read. It's very easy, it's very interesting. It's about a woman in Japan, and the blurb is: Kiko doesn't fit in. She's 36 years old, she's never had a boyfriend, and she's working in the same convenience store. She's been working in the same convenience store for 18 years. Her parents wish she'd get a better job, her friends wonder why she won't get married. But Kiko knows what makes her happy, and she's not going to let anyone take her away from a convenience store. So just going along this story with the main character was just an interesting journey, and I think it's a very easy, cozy read for when you want to stay in bed. Next one is Norse Mythology by Neil Gaiman. So this is a series of short stories, all like stories from Norse mythology, but Neil Gaiman's put it in a little collection, and each story can be read on its own. I read it straight through because I think it was Neil Gaiman's intention to make it seem like a continuous narrative, even though these are all individual stories. It all runs through each other. There's a thread that goes through all of them, and I don't remember completely, but I think it kind of acts as the circle story. Yeah, so it basically starts from the start and then it ends at Ragnarok. So it's a complete story, even though these are individual short stories. And yeah, I think this is great if you just want to read a couple, or if you want to read it straight through. Very easy read. If you already have a base knowledge of Norse mythology, it's great to be like, oh, I know about that, but I didn't know about it into this detail. So it's great just learning about it all together. So there's that. Next up on the list is Uprooted by Naomi Novik, and this story is a standalone, which was great, and I find it to be a comforting read, and because it's October, the spooky season, the magic involved in it can fit in with spooky season stuff. Yeah, I think it's so full of magic that to be in bed reading it, I felt so comforted by it that it was a great read. It progresses fairly quickly as well, so I don't, like at the start it's a little bit slow and then it like moves pretty quickly towards the end. So I think this is a fairly easy read that you can get through and not have to worry about reading the next in the installment because it's all in the one book. So if you're looking for something a little bit magical, this is it. The next book is also quite magical. It is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. Yes, Morgenstern. This is one of my favorite books, but the few people that I've spoken to about this book read it, like have read it, and then just get so wrapped up in the magic of it that the minute details kind of get lost. But like, it's not because they were bad details, not because the plot line was bad, not because everything that was happening in this world was bad. The magic is just so enrapturing. I don't want to use enthralling again, but like I was so enraptured. I think that might be a better way of putting it. I was taken, I was grabbed and dragged into this narrative, and I was just like, this is so beautiful. This is so gentle. I don't know, I can't remember a whole lot. Like it's kind of historical fiction with magic. Like I don't think it's a one genre novel. Like it's based in the past, but it also has magic, and it's also based partly in the future. I don't remember. Whoa, wait. I just remembered it has dates. Okay. It's set around the late 1800s. So on one hand, you get to see, I think it's based in England for majority. No, I think I just said New York there. Idiot. Yeah. So based in New York and also based in London? I don't know. Oh, Paris, there we go. Cairo. Okay, it's a circus, so I'm assuming you travel with it, okay? But it's set around that time, and you follow the characters' adventures, and you get invested. So the blurb for this one is, the circus arrives without warning. No announcements precede it. It is simply there when yesterday it was not. And that was it. That's the blurb. So it's about a traveling circus that only occurs at night, and this circus is full of magic, and it's just amazing. You feel like you are a spectator of the circus yourself, because the crowds are amazed, you're amazed, and it's a lovely, great read. And I think it's that perfect get in the mood to relax and enjoy the rainy weather outside. So that one is here. The next two are both kind of spooky reads. So I don't know if they would strictly be considered spooky reads. One of them, this one, The Daylight Gate by Jeanette Winterson. It is based around Easter, and Easter for Australians is autumn. So, but this is technically spring in here. So I mean, it's interchangeable. I don't know, it felt like an autumn read because it was always, I feel like the general impression is a lot of it's based around dusk time. There are witches. You don't see too much magic, but there's always implied magic. And okay, so it's based around the witch trials in England, and like one of the famous ones, I'm pretty sure. And it was a pretty good read. Like it was a decent read. I found it easy to read. This was actually a uni read, and even if I didn't have an assignment based on it, I think I would have read through it anyway. So the blurb is: Good Friday, 1612, Pendle Hill. A mysterious gathering of 13 people is interrupted by a local magistrate. Is it a witches' sabbat? In Lanchester Castle, two notorious witches await trial and certain death, while the beautiful and wealthy Alice Nutter rides to their defence. Elsewhere, a child lurks, and a Jesuit priest and former gunpowder plotter makes his way from France to a place he believes will offer him sanctuary. But will it? And how safe can anyone be in which country? So it's more or less historical fiction with laces of magic, and it's a fairly quick read. I don't know if this is actually considered a novella. It's past 200 pages. I'd call it a full-fledged novel. Yeah, Jeanette Winterson, I feel, has not a talent per se, but she knows how to work with words, and I think it made it very easy to get through this, and it works well. This one, though, has a little bit of a trigger warning for at the very start. There is a scene depicting sexual violence, and I don't know what's more horrible, the fact that it's treated with such nonchalance by the characters and like the writing itself. Like, I don't know if that's the bad thing, or like, the act itself is obviously the bad thing, but I don't know what's more horrible, the fact that it's normalized, or the fact that it is depicted. I don't even know, but it happens at the start, and then you move on from it pretty quickly, and I'm fairly sure there's like mentions of rape, but from that, and pedophilia, but there aren't real depictions of it. I only remember it being that scene early on, and that was about it. But if you're thinking that this is for you, I definitely recommend to give this a go, because it's an unsuspecting goodie. I don't know. Anyway, it's on here on the list. The next one is definitely spooky, and I haven't heard too many people talking about this one, but it's Coraline by Neil Gaiman. I didn't mean to put two of his books on this list, but anyway, so it's a children's book, it's really short, but even then, I think these pages are so yellowed. Anyway, I don't think it's simple. I think it is, I don't know, it's been a while since I've read it. Like, I've fairly long while, and I don't remember too much, but I remember being spooked by it. And because it's October, the spooky season, I think this should definitely be read. Yeah, I don't remember too much of this, but I definitely reckon it's worth giving it a read, or even a reread this season. If I had more time and less unread books on my shelf, I'd reckon I would give this a reread. But the next two, in fact, the last two, they're both graphic novels, and I'm gonna go for that one first. I definitely recommend them. They're both great for different reasons. The first one is Nimona by Noel Stevenson. I think I've got that right. Anyway, I would call it a parody or a what's the word? I can't remember the word. There is a word to describe this that I can't freaking remember. It starts with S. What is going on? Okay, I'm just gonna put it up on the screen. This is a parody and the word that I can't remember version of fantasy. So I don't remember too much of it. I definitely read this in one sitting. Most graphic novels I can, because they're just easier and they're so much fun, and then the artwork for this is so vibrant. I love it. So yeah, I definitely recommend this. I think this is considered a child's text. I don't know. It is a children's book, but it isn't at the same time. I think it's very much worth giving it a read, regardless of audience. It's really bothering me that I can't remember the word, but anyway, the novel is Nimona is an impulsive young shapeshifter with a knack for villainy. Lord Ballister Blackheart is a villain with a vendetta. As sidekick and supervillain, Nimona and Lord Blackheart are about to wreak some serious havoc. Their mission to prove to the kingdom that Sir Ambrosius Golden Lion can't read today, Jesus, and his buddies at the Institute of Law Enforcement and Heroics aren't the heroes everyone thinks they are. Nemesis, dragons, science, symbolism, all of these and more away in this brilliantly subversive wasn't the word I was looking for. Maybe, I don't know, god damn it, subversive and sharply irrelevant epic from Noel Stevenson, based on her award-winning webcomic. I am so bad at pronouncing and speaking. I'm so bad with diction. Like, it's my fault. It is, well, it's not my Achilles heel, but like, I'm terrible. Anyway, this is done. I definitely recommend it. I feel like more graphic novels need to be read, and it's great to see that a lot of people have been talking about them lately. I need to buy more of them, I need to read more of them, but they're so expensive. Anyway, the next one is true to its name. This is definitely one for being in bed and cuddly and listening to rain, having a hot beverage by your side. Heartstopper by Alice Oseman. God damn it. I'm so tired at this point, and I've read this so many times online, and I've only read this once because I bought this recently because I was like, don't need to buy it if I can just read it online. But it's worth having it on my shelves. It is perfect, it is great, it is brilliant, it is about two boys meeting, it is like, it's a big hug, it's great. The art style is simple but beautiful. Alice is amazing. Okay. The tiny little blurb that is this: boy meets boy, boys become friends, boys fall in love. It is the cutest. It is amazing. It is. It's. I need to compose myself. It's just, I love, I don't have coherent words or thoughts for this because it's just so good and so cute. I hope that, I don't think that was a spoiler. It couldn't have been. It was just a cuddle. It was cute. It is so pure. It's like a success story that you don't usually see in real life. Oh, you do see success stories in real life. And of course it's going to be more complex than that. The story is getting more complex, but there's nothing wrong with it. This is just good, okay, please? That is my last recommendation. And I'm just going to leave it there. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a lovely day or night. Have a lovely both. Get reading. Bye.